Hey, we got a follow.
It's a little crooked, but
It's fine.
that swivel is like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's probably very.
Every time you think you got it set and you let it go, it starts doing this. It just like leans a little bit, and you're like, no.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So for our first quarterfinals match, I think this is going to be our only quarterfinals match on stream. We have Zach Phillips on Dash versus Joseph Marchant on Lexi, and I gotta say, this is a horrible matchup for Dash.
I mean, I think it really just depends if you're going like the lightning and the ice build. We have the deck list here, right?
This is kind of the Yuki Lee Bender list.
Okay.
Where it's a lot of ice cards, a lot of good pressure, a lot of good disruption, and then he also has 2 erase face, which is also extremely good against
plus
Dash.
Hypothermia as well.
Yeah,
like,
hypothermia.
Yeah.
So hypothermia turns off boost, erase face turns off boost. Lexi is very good because items don't block, so you don't get to. Sometimes you might struggle to block all the disruption in her hand. I'm expecting this to go one way, but sometimes Dash can present a lot of damage very quickly. So we'll see how familiar Joseph is with the matchup here. All right, we're gonna start with a
Throttle.
Yeah, so this is on Joseph's turn. Okay. So apologies. Zach is on the play. So Joseph led off the game, activated Volterra instant speed, put a red Blizzard Bolt into the arsenal. T-Bone, definitely a dangerous card for Lexi. You do have 2 pieces of equipment that block for free.
Yeah.
But if you get deeper in that, you start to run into trouble.
You will lose your helm.
Yeah, losing new. Well,
And which chest piece? It's a little bit of a white
Tunic.
spot. Tunic. Okay.
Yeah. Now losing Tunic is like doable. Losing New Horizons is usually
That's the pain.
Is usually lights out. So if Zach does find a turn here to just
But we're looking turn 1, 11 damage.
see, but that's the thing is like, yeah. So Joseph soaked up a lot of damage that turn, but now here comes the disruption, right?
Right.
So it's
As long as this hand sequence the way we need them to.
it is unlikely that we are going to see another 5-card hand from Zach here.
Unless they want to race. Let's see how it goes.
Well, even then, if he has a Chilling Ice Vein,
Yeah, that's true. That checks it out. Yeah.
So I'm like that one. First, so we're going to start on Art War, which most of the time you're going to go for +1/+1 banish draw.
too.
But considering he already has an arrow in the arsenal, I do think that looks like he drew 3 cards.
Yeah, I think he just drew 3 cards.
Go stop. You should go stop them.
Oh, well,
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. I don't know if anyone was in chat that can verify that. Thank you, chat, for verifying that for us. Yeah. Art of War only draws 2 cards, so we are gonna have to pause here and get this fixed.
the last card he drew was the Channel Lake Fridge, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we might be able, since they are on stream, we can probably patch things back together.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you told Zach.
I told him there's too many cards drawn off the Art of War, and I think Zach caught it as well. Because honestly, he would draw it anyway with the 3
He's going to draw it anyway with the 3 of a kind.
So just draw 2
However,
instead of 3.
he just needs to make sure to draw the correct number. We want to make sure players have the right number of cards in all their zones.
Yeah.
So
At all times.
at all times, yeah. Ideally. You know, Art of War, pretty powerful card.
If it drew 3,
If it drew 3 cards, would already be banned.
yeah, $200 rainbow foil.
I'm honestly kind of surprised it wasn't like patch bans or suspended while chain was legal, but you know,
yeah.
whatever. Looks like we're just getting this sorted out, making sure everything is above board. I am assuming that given there is a counter on the Art of War that Joseph elected for +1. Personally, I think I would have gone for go again here. It clears the arrow out of your arsenal, and that opens the way for your reload triggers on your Bolton shots and your pathing helixes, which we do know that Joseph is running all of those. So it's just something to think about as a Lexi player. Lexi is very much a deck and a hero of minutia, where you make a lot of very small decisions that can impact over the course of the game.
Because ultimately, I think with a 3 of a kind, you're wanting to go as wide as possible to maximize the value of the Art of War, but will you draw it?
You're already like locking yourself into only being able to play cards in your arsenal, and those reload triggers can be super impactful for if you draw Amulet of Ice or Channel Lake Frigid or what have you, stuff that you would like to play on that turn, but might not get the opportunity to if you can't get into your arsenal somehow.
I think they're resolving it in the most rational way. I think he might just draw the 2 to resolve the 3 of a kinds. I don't think the extra card reveal information gave him any kind of advantage
because he was already
immediately,
and he was already intending on playing the 3 of a kind. Anyways, we just need to make note of it for clerical reasons for the judge to make sure that that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
You know, it is important to make sure that all of our players are playing above board. We want to make sure that everyone that makes it to nationals is a, above board representative of their region. So.
Yeah, so we're good. I was going to tell you all so you kind of know what's going on. So it seems like he drew into the 3 of kind, and he was supposed to draw 1 more card.
Well,
so he played Art of War
and drew 3 cards off.
3 instead of 2.
Yeah, and so
he went straight into 3 of a kind draft anyway.
Exactly. And so, but because of the fact of how it works, the way it is he would, since it is a hidden card, you would reveal it to your opponent, and your opponent chooses to either put it back on top or on the bottom of the deck.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright, good to know. Okay, so 3 of a kind resolves. Art of War is pitched. We are going to see a yellow Blizzard Bolt to start here. That's going to have go again from Voltaire. Looks like we're prepping the card to reveal. It's going to be the Channel Lake Frigid. So this is fused. So each hit, each arrow, each attack that Joseph plays for the rest of this turn will create a frostbite if it deals damage to Zach.
But I'm assuming it won't have go again unless he pops Snapdragons, correct?
This one has go. So this isn't the one he arsenaled on turn 0. This is the one he just put in arsenal. All right, and Zach just gonna elect to take 5. So that's 5 and a frostbite. Obviously, the yellow Blizzard Bolt coming in for 5 because of the Art of War. We'll see what the second arrow is here for Joseph. And the nice thing here is, if that Channel Lake Frigid is the only blue card in your hand, now you don't feel bad about pitching the Channel Lake, because even though you won't get to fuse on your second Blizzard Bolt, you still get the 1, and sometimes that's enough.
Right. Like you were saying, Blizzard Bolt affects the entire chain.
Entire chain.
There's another that will stack up.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Lexi that is so powerful, is while her arrows do seem overcosted because you have to pay 1 to 2 for most of them, for what would be a below the board rates, you do get these very powerful on hits to kind of offset some of that less than stellar costs.
Okay.
All right, Joseph deep in the tank. He probably has a couple arrows to fire here. He probably just wants to think about what the best line is. Unfortunately, can't play that erase face out of his hands, as he is locked under this 3 of a kind. Turns out drawing 3 cards in this game does have to have some kind of downside, unless you're chained. But
right.
Yeah. All right, it is going to be a Frostlock. Frostlock, a good one here.
Going for the fusion, nice.
Yes, that's going to be fused as well. So if that hit connects, Zach will not be able to play or pitch any 0-cost cards on his next turn.
No 0 to 60.
Yeah, no 0 to 60. No items that cost 0.
No T-bones.
No T-bones. So, and this is a blue that's coming in for 6.
Yeah.
Because it does look like Joseph elected to pump it for 1 off of the Voltaire. It pumps 1 for itself and is getting the +1 off of Art of War. So either Zach is going to have to put 2 cards in front of this, 1 card in some armor, or just like have a hand that works well without needing his 0-cost cards.
Right.
So definitely Zach here just looking at his hand, evaluating, trying to figure out what his next turn is going to look like. Because this is threatening another frostbite, so it's important to remember that not only will he not be able to play zeros if this connects, but that extra frostbite will throw a wrench in the works as well. 2 cards are going to come down here. I assume that's going to block for 6. And the Channeling Frigid going into the arsenal for Joseph, so Joseph going to have a nice 6-card hand for next turn as well.
Pretty fun.
It looks like he might have forgotten the frostbite off of this trigger off of the second arrow, but we'll see how much that comes into play here.
So you pitch 3 for the throttle, so it pays for frostbite.
This is coming in for 8.
Yeah.
So, but fortunately for Joseph, there's only one more counter on the pounder. So you've only got one more turn of big damage, but assuming that Zach wants to crack that Goliath gauntlet next turn, there could easily be an attack for 10. Fortunately, so we got an Insidious Chill, another Channeling Frigid, and 2 arrows in the grip. Looks like probably a Bolton Shot and an Endless Arrow.
Arrows, yeah.
So just the 6 turns reasonable. He's gonna turn up the Channeling Frigid in his arsenal, give Zach a Frostbite, and then pitch a Channeling Frigid to play the other Channeling Frigid, or probably pitch the Insidious Chill to play the Channeling Frigid out of his arsenal.
Yeah.
To give, hopefully, Zach enough of a roadblock to not be able to push too much damage on that subsequent turn.
He takes it.
Yeah. This is something you'll see from Lexi a lot. She doesn't block most of the time. Her main way of playing defensively is to play offensively.
Right. Is there a first frostbite for the turn? Let that Lexi flip.
There goes the Insidious Chill. Here's a Channeling Frigid.
And that enough right there is enough to completely shut down.
Yeah, that's
more than enough.
That's 2 extra resources.
But wait, there's more.
But also, I would like to play this. I'm assuming he's going to lead on the Bolton Shot.
Yeah, definitely.
And then consider if he wants to play the Blizzard Bolt. But we'll see. Okay, I don't hate this either. It's just going to elect to play the Blizzard Bolt. So he's going to come in for 5 and a Frostbite. And he can activate Voltaire to put a card in his arsenal, and then arsenal the other Channeling Frigid.
Right.
So he can still set up a 6-card turn for next turn, and he feels like he's applied enough disruption here for where Zach is not going to be able to have a super efficient turn himself. So I would rather go ahead and set up a 6-card hand for next turn rather than overcommit into my opponent when I feel like there is already enough to stop them from having a super successful turn.
Honestly, if you don't have enough resources to handle the oppression that you have on the board right now, block out. I don't know if I will pop Snapdragons.
This is an early Snapdragons from Joseph.
You already have him locked down. He can't do much. Why wouldn't he block anyway?
So what we're likely to see here is, I do think Joseph's going to just go ahead and commit all of his equipment. So we're going to see the bracers broken, which will put in the Bolton Shot. Bolton Shot.
+1.
Yep, Bolton Shot will come in for 3. I believe it's either blue or yellow. So Bolton Shot will come in for 3 or 4, and if it connects, he will get a reload trigger. So he'll be able to place a card from his hand face down into the arsenal. Has already activated Alexia's turn, so it's not he can't sneak in the Channeling Frigid and just play it for value. I am a little confused by the sequencing. Generally, what I think you would want to do here is use your Voltaire activation on this first Bolton Shot, and then reload the Endless Arrow, and then save your bracers for later. But we'll see how this pans out. Because at this point, Joseph can't reload the Endless Arrow because he will not have an action point. And it's just going to elect to arsenal the second Channeling Frigid and hold on to the Endless Arrow for now. I think if you're going to make a turn like that, you want to be more aggressive, so...
Yeah, you just lost to equipment for no damage.
I'm honestly a little underwhelmed with that turn cycle.
I feel like with the ebb and flow of battle, you pop your equipment on a turn, you want to force them to empty their hands because they're going to go all out on you.
For sure. And generally with Lexi, with this current build of Lexi, you don't really want to be popping your equipment unless you're having a 3-of-a-kind Rain Razors or Art of War Rain Razors or 3-of-a-kind Art of War turn.
The biggest thing now is 2 more 3-of-a-kinds left in the deck. No easy way to cheat them into the arsenal for free.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, and not having snaps means that if you ever arsenal an arrow, if it's not a bolt and shot, your only way to clear it out of the arsenal before possibly playing a reload arrow will be Art of War.
Right.
This channel like frigid. Hypothermia on the pitch, a little surprising. I do feel like that is a card that's worth holding on to in this matchup just because of how reliant Dash is on boost and Hypothermia just completely stopping that in its tracks. But it's a Bolden Shot for 3. Gonna get covered up by, I don't know, some kind of dash attack.
Through.
Here's a Rain Razors.
It's a +2 on arrow attacks.
So 2 will come across. There will be a reload trigger. Joseph will reload the Endless Arrow, presumably. Endless Arrow for 6. Zach was still enough cards in hand to cover this up if he so chooses, which he does.
Yeah, definitely.
And Endless Arrow is kind of like one of the... Endless Arrow is basically Lexi's substitute for a weapon, whereas like if you don't deal with that card, you will just get... They will just attack you for 4 every turn for the rest of the game. So eventually you do have to deal with that one.
I see Icequake, Bolton Shots.
Art of War. And it might be an Icy counter? Yeah, okay. So the second card's Art of War, for sure. Okay. Is playing Icy encounters? He's not. I'm not sure. I'm not that sure where that card is on the far left.
Blizzard Bolts.
Blizzard Bolts are... maybe it's a Pathing Helix. Yeah, it's a Pathing Helix. Frostlock. Icequake. Something along those lines. And Zach with his Techlope, still with a Pounder counter. Looks like he's activating his chess piece. Reveals 3 mech cards, so
What?
Right?
No, because you can't activate the chess piece unless you boost it.
I don't know what he's up to here.
I think he's still 3 cards from Banish.
Oh, we're just checking to see what's what. Oh, so he just passed back. All right, Joseph loads a Blizzard Bolt. Looks like a blue, so it's only gonna be a 3 with Go again. Covers up with a card. No Frostbites.
I feel like at this point, Joe kind of overextended just a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
instead of controlling the matchup, he was trying to get aggressive at every point. I think he just feels behind.
I feel like Joseph may have just overcommitted a little too early.
Yeah.
And we're going to see kind of the effects of that for the rest of this game. And Zach, still at a very healthy 33 life. It's not as if, he's been disrupted and has had to take a couple turns off, but it's not as if he's really feeling under the gun himself. And he's going to be able to cover up this Frostlock with just another card from hand and a piece of armor.
Because really, like, you look at one of the other classes that we were talking about Dromai earlier, being able to block all these 3-block cards. That's all Mech is.
Yeah.
Like, almost everything.
For sure. Yeah, and Lexi, very susceptible to fatigue, not having a traditional weapon. So once she's out of arrows, that's kind of the end of the road for her most of the time. All right, it's going to be a 0-60 to lead. That's going to trigger the last counter on the Pounder.
This turn's going to hurt.
That's only coming in for 5, so...
I will say, as a Dash player, this is a good place to be.
This is a good place to be, because this is an awful match.
Yeah, it's a good card. In other news, we have had a couple of layers. So we've had a Viscerai that's going to be proceeding,
okay,
and a Prism. So
was it
Prism?
Was it Andrew beating Aaron beat the old him?
Wow. No, that game's still going. It was actually Matt and Defy. So.
Oh man, I want to fight.
Yeah, so.
Damn it, Matt. But I thought you were going to lose.
All right, so here's another 0 to 60. This one's a red, so this is coming in for 4. So we had a classic blue for 5, and now a red for 4. You know
Yeah.
how most decks operate in Flush and
There's this
Blood.
one
Oh,
time-
and a T-bone.
Oh, you're losing the equipment now.
Yeah, that's a tunic. That's the other issue with having committed a lot of your equipment early is now you're losing your tunic. This is looking real bad for Joseph.
You can tell by the hand gestures. He's like, yeah, I messed up.
Yeah, and so now if Zach finds his 3rd T-bone, because I'm assuming he's just playing reds.
Oh, I hope he's playing more than reds. They get spicy.
He's playing blues too, so if Zach finds another T-bone and gets rid of that
That's 0
Horizon,
for 1 that forces you to block the equipment. It's
yeah,
huge.
that's this game's already looking bad for Joseph. But I mean, if that last T-bone comes across, all right, so it's a blue Ice Quake and a red Molten Shot. So it's coming in for 6. Go again if it hits Mega Frostbite, and we'll get a reload trigger.
I think you're happy to block here, get a 0 cost attack into your arsenal, and just kind of set up that line.
Yep, just set up your last.
Keep your health.
Set up what will probably be the last turn of the game.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're gonna put in a Pathing Helix and come in for 5. I'm a little surprised by this. I do think I would have liked to see some restraints, because now, even though this is gonna make a Frostbite if it connects, Zach is like pretty interested in just arsenaling and passing anyways, or maybe shooting his gun.
Yeah. Honestly, he could keep this, pitch a red, load his gun up, and then
just
arsenal and pass.
yeah.
And just kind of set up for that
Or
sweet
it'd have to
spot.
be yellow with the Frostbite, but
That's
you
right,
know.
yeah.
I just feel like just trying to keep a 5-card hand here if I'm Joseph and like getting tempo back in that direction. But I don't know. Honestly, at this point, it might take a Art of War or Art of War or a 3 of a kind to really get him back into this game.
Yeah.
And this is kind of what I was talking about with Lexi, where like we noticed that a lot of these little decisions from Joseph have compounded over the course of this game, and now he's in a really bad spot as far as tempo is concerned.
I think that's the kind of the beauty of Flesh and Blood as well. It's the compilation of every little positive or good decision you make versus every little bad decision you make, and it adds up over time.
Molten Shot the pitch. Here's an Ice Quake. This one I believe is red, so a little more impactful. Blizzard Bolt on the follow-up. Here's a Fuse. It's a Cold Snap. Coming across for 8.
Oof.
8 and 2 Frostbites.
Spicy era.
I think this is... There's a world where this is just you take this, get 2 Frostbites, and then as long as you have like a blue, 1 or 2 blues, you're probably gonna have a good enough turn next turn anyways. Oh, sorry, 9.
Math.
You're 28, you know. 19, going to 19, 19 and 2 Frostbites. Not too bad.
We're going for the block.
Okay, I respect it. I do think you can't respect Lexi for too long, because again, if she does find one of those powerhouse cards, she can like swing the momentum back in her favor.
Pitch for the load. I like it.
And zipper hit, yeah. Come across for 5.
Boosting. 0 to 60. Let's follow with clean 2.
Zach's not going to be able to threaten lethal this turn, but he can put Joseph to 1 if Joseph elects not to block.
Yeah, if he wants to make this his comeback turn and like take it and get low, that's his choice.
And honestly, I don't think Joseph can just soak up 7 damage here, because Dash is just so efficient at presenting a wide chain that if you
can't block at all.
Eventually you're
All
just
those
going to run out of
break points.
cards. Yeah. It's going to take the 5.
Put me in, coach.
And the gun. 5 on gun. Goes to 1.
28 damage.
Does have a Rain Razors. But without Snapdragons and Art of War, or Snapdragons and Bracers, not really. It's very, very difficult as Lexi to present this much damage.
Another cold snap.
Not what you want to see here. Cold Snap, probably on the lower end of your cards of interest. Does have an Ice Quake and an Arrow, so we'll see an Ice Quake and Arrow, and likely that Rain Razors come across this turn.
Then Arsenal Cold Snap again for the reveal to kind of keep a frostbite
I don't
pressure.
think you'll live that long, but you know.
Not at one. Because at this point, you just say, I'm not gonna block.
Yeah. Here's an Ice Quake. It's red. Joseph, definitely looking a little frustrated. Definitely not the hands of cards that he wanted to come together. Pitching away the Rain Razors to fire the Blizzard Bolt. So this is coming across for 8 or 9, I believe.
Yeah, he gave a +1 from Voltaire.
Yeah, so 8 and 2 Frostbites. 3 cards from Zach. I think Zach is just content to like block out load gun pass.
Yeah.
Block out
Old school control dash
Arsenal
without
card
having all the
pass.
items.
Yeah. Loads the gun, fires the gun. Now you have to block. Looks like he has another Cold Snap in hand. That's probably going to be the block. Yep. Still has an Ice Quake. Is he playing more than 3 Cold Snaps? That'd be crazy. No, just the 3 boosts.
Yeah.
Cold Snap at Arsenal. Redraw. 2 resources floating. Has an Erase Face. That is a good one here if it connects, because
This is only 1 attack guaranteed.
yeah, that does mean that Dash won't be able to make more than 1 attack. Well, 2. She can. No, because Gun doesn't have to go again. So yeah, just 1 attack. Just gonna play the Erase Face.
But we're getting to a point with no Arsenal, and that hurts.
Yeah. Did he really not have any resources floating from the Cold Snap? I thought he had 2 resources. I don't know. I'm not sure, honestly.
It won't matter at this point in the game. I don't think. We're just kind
it
of
will. We're kind of at the point where Joseph's just like trying to
Here he
cobble
goes.
something together. Big number.
dominate. That's it. That's all you needed.
Big number.
Coming in for 8 dominate.
Here's a New Horizon. Here's a card from my hands.
I'm assuming it's the red one. Payload?
Yeah. Well, I think Payload only gets Dominate if you have play boosted,
If you boosted
this turn.
Yeah.
But that is going to be it. And Zach Phillips with Dash moving on to semis.
Wow.